Begin today with trouble on the Black Sea. Russia's defense ministry said that one of its patrol boats fired warning shots at the British HMS Defender that was making its way through territorial waters off Crimea in the Black Sea. Now, Russia says the British destroyer entered into Russian waters, but British officials say the ship was never diverted from its course, described as routine transit through an internationally recognized traffic corridor in Ukrainian waters. Now, Moscow says Russian fighter jets also dropped quote-unquote bombs in the path of the warship, though the UK's defense ministry contends, no, that didn't happen. No bombs were dropped, nor shots fired. As many as 20 Russian fighter jets did buzz the ship, however, and Russian patrol boats followed it, some within 100 yards. Now, a BBC reporter who was actually on the HMS Defender described the situation in an audio report during which you can actually hear the jets flying directly over the ship. Listen.
It said it was going through a recognized international shipping lane, but while it was carrying out this kind of... Now there is... That is another Russian aircraft buzzing the warship here in the Black Sea.
That'll get the blood flowing. That'll get your attention. He also said he heard shots fired, but believed that they were out of range. Look, the Russian Navy was conducting drills off Crimea, so it's possible that was the case. But again, Russia's defense ministry said it did fire a warning shot at the HMS Defender. So, what's the deal? What's going on? Look, military exercises are not unusual. It happens all the time. We told you, in fact, just yesterday, you probably remember about a Russian naval fleet carrying out exercises near Hawaii. In some cases, the Department of Defense said within 35 miles of the coast of Hawaii, resulting in F-22 fighter jets being scrambled to essentially monitor what was going on. It appears in this latest incident, it may just be related to upcoming NATO exercises in the Black Sea involving British, Dutch, and U.S. warships. It's something Russia is crying foul about. Russia has been monitoring the ships that have been docked in Odessa, Ukraine. So perhaps this is Russia sending a warning shot, possibly literally a warning shot, about the upcoming war games, saying not in our waters, or close to our waters anyway, basically staying in your lanes. We're going to drill down on this a lot more. We'll be tackling in today's newscast. Okay, so why are the navies of Russia and the UK bumping heads? A little bit of a royal rumble there between the Royal Navy. First, let's jump into the very latest on that naval showdown we talked about on the Black Sea. Here's RT correspondent Murad Gaziev.
The dangerous actions of the Royal Navy destroyer have been assessed by the Russian Defense Ministry as a gross violation of the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The Russian military called on the British side to conduct a thorough investigation into the actions of the HMS Defender crew to prevent similar incidents in the future.
Statements by the British differ vastly from the version of events we were given by the Russians. They say that they were merely peacefully sailing through an internationally recognized route, and that there were no warnings and no warning shots fired. Now, there is an explanation. One of the explanations is that either the British press office that handles these sort of statements has no idea what happened, or the British are willfully lying, because a BBC journalist abroad has allegedly said that he has confirmed that there were warning shots fired, that they purposefully went through these territorial waters, which, again, Britain recognizes as Ukrainian territorial waters rather than Russian. Nevertheless, the British say that what Russia has said is disinformation.
It's incorrect to say either that it was fired upon or that the ship was in Russian waters. HMS Defender was taking the most direct and internationally recognized route between Ukraine and Georgia. As you know, the UK did not recognize Russia's claim to Crimea, and we continue to uphold the international consensus that Russia's annexation of Crimea is illegal.
Thanks, Murad. Well, NATO has literally crossed the line with Russia. Moscow says that the British destroyer violated the country's maritime border in the Black Sea, and according to Russia's defense ministry, a patrol ship, as Murad was talking about and as I talked about, and fighter jet from that country fired warning shots. The incursion is the latest in really a slew of back and forth and kind of tangling between the West and Russia. RT's Alex Mihailovich has more on the story.
It's a territorial incursion that Russia is taking seriously.
We evaluate this as a crude British provocation that violates international and Russian law. I would also like to inform you that the British ambassador to our country will be summoned to the foreign ministry.
Russia says that its borders have been violated in the Black Sea and that warning shots were fired from its patrol ships and a fighter jet at a British destroyer. The alleged military incursion is one of a number of coordinated geostrategic actions that the West is taking against Russia at this moment, and most seem to center around one issue: Ukraine. The British warship was in an area of the Black Sea near Crimea that Moscow says is its territorial waters, a claim Ukraine disagrees with. Adding to tensions, NATO war games are planned to run in the Black Sea from June 28th to July 10th, close to Russia's coastline. Vessels and personnel from 32 separate nations, many which are not in NATO, will participate in the sea breeze drills, including both the US and Ukraine, as well as the UK, France, Poland, and Georgia. Moving west, today in Germany, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with that country's foreign minister to, among other things, criticize the Nord Stream 2 pipeline project from Russia. While German Chancellor Angela Merkel strongly favors the project, the U.S. is not a fan.
By the time we took office, the pipeline as a matter of its physical construction was more than 90% complete. That was the reality. That's something we inherited. And we're determined to see if we can make something positive out of a difficult situation that we inherited, and to do what we can to make sure that the end result is that Europe's energy security is not undermined. In fact, it's strengthened, that Ukraine's position is not weakened.
We've been here before, John. Not everyone will be aware. Britain invaded Russia from precisely this point 100 years ago, 102 years ago, to be precise, and landed hundreds of thousands of British military forces in an attempt to overthrow the government in Moscow and bring about regime change. The Russians have never forgotten that, even if the British long ago did. And a lot of brave British soldiers and sailors gave their lives in that ludicrous and failed regime change operation.